One Piece, chapter 743. This is actually the chapter in which that I kind of have been waiting on, in which that they have been building up for like the biggest course of what has been happening recently with them taking out Sugar. And honestly, finally, we get to see the gigantic backlash of every toy turning back into their original form. Some of them actually becoming humans. Some of them turning into gigantic gorillas. All these other types of animals in which that Sugar has turned into toys and has used to pretty much further Don Quixote's regime with the toy army and everything. And honestly, it is actually pretty nice to finally see that everybody in Dressrosa actually finally getting their memories back of all of their loved ones. It was even actually it was actually super nice to see King Riku and Violet actually remember who Kuros was. And give or take with how things are, honestly, this is also a good plus side for Usopp, who actually did do something which actually did turn the tide, which, as we knew from the last chapters, ending with him pretty much screaming in Sugar's face and knocking her out, that honestly, that this was going to be the final episode. However, there is something that does kind of happen in this one, which does kind of like strike me as a bit like, well, that's going to be a problem, is the fact that at the end of it, I'm kind of skipping ahead here because pretty much mostly what this chapter was just a bunch of people recalling their memories, a lot of people regaining contact with their loved ones, the pirates coming up and rebelling on the harbor, the ones that who were carrying items, and most of the people in the Colosseum who were also turned into toys coming back and finally now using their strength to pretty much stand up against the Don Quixote army and pretty much and fight their way out. And honestly, the biggest change, or at least like the two biggest changes in this one, was the fact that yes, the backlash of this, it did actually reach the Colosseum, and finally Sabo actually finally uses this time to pretty much destroy the ring because Rebecca, she can't fight anymore because she just remembered her father, and Bartholomew still protecting her. So honestly, Sabo just uses this time to pretty much just destroy the entire ring and kind of get everything situated. So give or take with how things are going, I do kind of assume that pretty much he is going to win the Meta Metanomi, and he is going to either have that or they could just turn it up in a bucket and Jesus gets it. So there's always that. However, going back to that thing that I said that did kind of feel a bit little like, well, that changes things, is that Kuros just cuts Don Quixote's head off. Swiftly, I might add. And honestly, seeing as that I'm guessing that his cloud fruit, the one that does allow him to pretty much skate on clouds and use those as his weapons, you really got to ask the question of, if you could just easily just cut his head off and kill him, then really that's going to be a problem unless his actual devil fruit ability isn't necessarily a Promethea type. It could also be it possibly could be a Logia type, or possibly that wasn't him to begin with. So honestly, I am kind of on the idea of that necessarily Don Quixote, he isn't dead, but at the same time, it is actually rather kind of shocking to kind of just see them take this route of them just cutting his head off and then just pretty much saying, yeah, man, he's dead. But give or take with how things are going, they really haven't led into too much of a final battle yet. So possibly this arc it could end off with the Straw Hats really not having to take it up to a level 10. They could possibly just end it with them with the country itself liberating itself with the help of the Straw Hat crew, instead of them going out and getting running out head first into the mix, and them doing everything in their power to pretty much kind of get rid of the evil. So honestly, if this ends here, I wouldn't be angry, because we did honestly see the characters that we needed to see fight, aside from the whole Zoro versus that Stonewall dude, and Frankie getting ambushed, and the whole thing with Usopp and Robin. But if it ends here, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because, you know, we did kind of fulfill all of that. And also there is a bigger thing that is coming up later on with what is going on with the other Straw Hats after Luffy and everybody else kind of regroups with them with the help of their brand new allies. So there's always that. So yeah, pretty much I like this chapter. It was something in which that they did kind of build up to, and it did have a promising ending to it, or at least like it did have a promising payoff for it. So I do kind of like that. So what do you guys think about it? Please tell me down there in the comment section. I'll catch you on the next John Graves show. So please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I am out.